Hi there, Dan West again. Well, we're finally getting some decent weather here in California. All the rain we've had, the summer was just blistering hot, and the rain was just unbelievable when we got here. And then it's just cold. I still got my other bench here that I got wrapped up in a moving blanket because it's just been too cold to glue. And I've heard from about 3 other people I know, they went ahead and glued things up and it all cracked. It was no good. One was catastrophic because it was a pretty expensive unit, and I think it cost the guy almost his job. It was so bad. But I made something for my granddaughter a while back, and I just didn't think to put it up on YouTube, and I did. Luckily, I did take some pictures, and I'm going to take some more. It's already built, but I'm going to take some more pictures and add to it, and put it up. What it was is, any of you who've got grandchildren, especially if it's a grandchild from a previous marriage, the other spouse doesn't quite, a little more picky than everything. My little granddaughter was doing things on a wooden TV tray. You fold up TV trays. And, it was kind of, sometimes stuff would fall off it, and everything, and it's where she would put it, and of course my wife was always kind of watching her, and then one time everything collapsed, fell down. So I made my mind up right there, because my wife kind of tried not to get too upset. You could tell she wasn't really happy about it. Just, nothing broke. It was just a noise and all that. So I decided to make her a table. I made her a nice table, large with a little railing around it. Anyways, you saw it on the introduction, and I'm going to kind of go by, as far as I can describe it, because I should have took pictures, I didn't. But the point is, it was relatively inexpensive, out of pine. Ponderosa pine, which is it's pine boards. There's like scrap from the mill, and they take them and they laminate them together. So it's a very sturdy. It's better than a full board, because the board with the grain will warp on you. This is more resistant to warp. I'm going to say it's absolutely never will, but I've had good results with it. That's pretty much what I work with. I don't get any exotic woods anymore. It's just too expensive, and I don't make that kind of stuff anymore like I used to. It's simple. The only problem is pine is, in a way, difficult to work with if you're trying to dovetail, do intricate moldings. When you go back and say sand, you can actually wipe the detail out. And when you're doing dovetailing, you got to try to test fit it. And just by going in and out, the fibers will give loose and break. So you've got to really be pretty good. Whereas an oak and walnut and pecan, you can jam it in, pound it out, and jam it back in. And, work it like this upon it. You do that with pine, and you're asking for trouble. So, but I don't mind. I can do it. I can handle it. Again, it's for that person who's just starting out, and he'd like to make something for his kids. And it's real simple. Basic wood you can get at Lowe's or something like that. And it'll turn out pretty nice. So that's what it's for. I'm going to walk you through it a little bit, and I hope you enjoy it and get something out of it. And with that, let's get into it. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is the tabletop, the underside, and there's my layout for all the drawer carcass and the panels. And as you can see, those slots, what's called biscuit joinery. It's a machine that makes a slot that fits a biscuit, looks like a football, perforated. And when it gets glue, it swells up, and it's mainly for alignment. Like when you're doing panels together, but it's also a decent method for gluing pieces together. It's not the strongest by any means, but in this function, it's not bad, because when it glues up, and I've got more than just one or two, it really makes a good bond, a decent bond for this type of cabinetry, which is going to be holding some very light-duty drawers for my daughter's table. So in this sense, it's very nice, and it's neat and clean. No visible fasteners by any means. It's all glued together. And again, This could be done with dowels. You could do with doweling. If you're trying to get away from using any kind of visible screws or what have you. So there's other methods too, but it's a little more detailed in types of joinery, or combining cleating with what you're working with, and other than that, you get a little more involved. Other than that, this is a decent way of doing something. It's very simple, and if you're able to purchase a machine like this, which is not a huge expense, but it's a machine, it would be worth your while, because you can use it in a lot of applications. It's a very good machine to have in your shop. Here is the underside, which shows these pieces that are glued already together, along with the legs attached. It shows you one of the two locations where there are two screws, top and bottom, in the leg assembly, into that side drawer glide. There's a back panel there, or across the back, that's a stiffener, and then the two panels in the middle to hold each side of the drawer. And those little pieces in the middle are oak, 3/4 oak drawer glides. And it's very old and very trusted and reliable method of drawer joinery and functioning. This is the other side of the same under the table, and again it shows the legs, how they're screwed into the sides. And just a very simple design. It's not complicated at all. It's all butt joints. There's no fancy covering up of end pieces. And it's just clean, and the thing is, it functions. It does the job for your little one there. It's another view of the underside. There you can see the two pairs of screws that goes into the legs. Again, those legs are glued and screwed in place, and it's just very strong. A good system. And of course, in any kind of cabinetry, the more you start tying something in and somehow fastening it all together, the whole unit just gets stronger and stronger and more stable. And you'll see how I do the cross members in this next coming up videos. There again is a good look at the drawer in function with that drawer glide, that 3/4. So you have the dado that's up, almost a half, not quite a half inch, but you've got 3/8 sticking out both sides, and of course the width of your drawer is a little lighter than that, so you have plenty of room. And it's a very smooth functioning way of working a drawer in your desk. And you can see how the legs are laid out under the door. Here's the end panels of that Ponderosa pine, which is really not bad looking at all. It's the look, it's the design, so it's accepted to be seen, the end grain, and it's strong. It shows actually you have a strong member there for the tabletop. Here again, very simple butt joints. We call it butt joints. There's no exceptional table saw or router work to get those the front and side piece of the door together. It's just cut the length and glued and screwed. It's very simple, direct. And again, for this little table, for your son or daughter or whoever member in the house, it functions and it works. No headaches. Really simple, and it's a good way of doing something. This shows the two screws up underneath. They're concealed. It goes into the leg. It's a cross member, but each member, whether it's the short ones or the long ones, are still dowels in between the screws or alongside the screw. So where you see a dowel peg, that's a real dowel going into the two members. There are the adjustable feet that I screwed into the bottom of the legs, and I put self-adhesive felt pads that prevent the feet from scratching the oak floor, so my wife doesn't have to worry about my granddaughter, moving the little table around. And it's light enough she can handle it quite well by herself. And another shot of the underside, and there's the two sets of screws that go on the legs on the other side. And there's a dowel to the left. It's going through the leg into the cross member, and that's a real functioning dowel, glued and screwed. And it functions well. It works solid. Again, very simple, but yet it's nice joinery, very clean. So here we are in function, my little ones. And this is just a nice view of my little one's tools. Box of Crayolas and her paper, what have you. She spends a lot of time here, and where she's got her tablet as well. These kids nowadays with all the technology is amazing, but no, she really uses table quite well. She eats on it and has her sodas, whatever, her milk, and I'm thrilled that's how she really uses it and has a good time with it and serves the purpose. And of course, my wife is at ease now because nothing spills, nothing drops. She's got her little place, and my little daughter even puts her blankets over all this and starts making little tents and little castles and what have you. So, she gets underneath there and she's in her own little world. So she uses her table in more ways than one. She has a lot of fun with it. But the main thing, look, it's decent looking. It's easy to make. It's inexpensive. Very simple. Very, very basic carpentry methods, which is what I'm trying to present to people. And it's just something your kids will have forever, and they'll probably pass it down to their kids, and it's something Grandpa made for them. So with everything, here it is with the, I believe those are maple fronts, if I'm not mistaken. I just got polyurethane, but I got 6 coats. And it probably took longer to do that than to build a thing, actually, to come to think of it, because, you've got to let it sit and wait. And I don't think it took me 6 days to make this thing, but, you sand it down in between a little bit, but put the coats on, and it's just beautiful. And it wears. It wears really well. It's decent wood. The one other thing I would say about this, using pine like this, especially Ponderosa, it's not like plywood. You can screw and nail or whatever into the end grain. It's not like plywood. Plywood, you got plies and all that, and it cuts bad and everything, and big holes, ugly sheets and everything. I'm not down on plywood, but when you're making furniture or little things like this, you really can't beat this, this stuff. So there's my email address at the bottom. If you have anything to say, give me a shout, and have a good time in the shop, and work safe, and as always, don't use any putty. Okay? Bye-bye.